Welcome, everybody. We're ready to do the season preview for the 2022 Slay Nation Upstate New York Kayak Series. Got a couple guests waiting in the studio to come talk to everybody. First, you guys want to bring on for everybody tonight is Jake Stem. He is the PA Kayak Series Director. We're going to talk about some membership items with Slay Nation and go over the Cayuga Civil War. So I'll bring on Jake Stem. Welcome, Jake.
What's going on, guys?
Welcome. How's the video?
I'm excited. Right? It's going to be a good season.
You like that video?
It's going to be yeah, that's sweet. I like that. I need to do something like that.
I'll help you out with that. All right, man. Well, first, I was going to talk about membership. A lot of the PA guys are watching, so, run for both sides, but I'm going to pull up the Slay Nation site here in a minute. Talk about some of the Slay Nation membership. You want to talk about the cost and some of the benefits while I pull this up?
Yeah. So if you guys don't know, the yearly membership fee is $60. It gets you jersey. If you sign up before the end of the month, you get your name on the back of it, which is pretty cool, customized from our boy Slay Ray from down here in the Poconos of PA. He does all the jerseys for Slay Nation. You guys are going to get cool. There's wristbands, a bunch of other stuff that Frankie's got set up. And then the discount code, guys. All the discount codes, it's like, I don't know, 30 companies, I'd say. Maybe even 40 this year. It's a lot, and good discount codes from all different types of companies, bait companies, rod companies. I mean, we pretty much got everything. So definitely check it out. Definitely worth the investment just in the amount of money you're going to save on getting all the tackle and stuff you need for the tournament season anyway. So awesome investment. And also, if you guys didn't know, your membership counts for any Slay Nation trail. So let's say you're in PA and you sign up for the kayak series, but hey, I want to go fish a John boat series. Still counts. If you want to go up to New York, fish New York, New Jersey, whatever, you guys have that membership fee, that counts for any Slay Nation trail. Just want to make sure everyone knows that.
And for us, we're only doing 7 events this year, plus we're doing an online series. Only 3 of our series, I think, are open events, or maybe 4 of them. This year, we changed things up from the way they did things last year. Because of the benefits of being a Slay Nation member, we don't want it to be the same for non-members to join our open tournaments. So it is $10 more for a non-member to join our tournaments in an open event. So by the time you add that up, you might as well get your membership, you get your jersey, you get all these benefits to go with it. You're eligible for the raffles, angler of the year prizes. So it just makes sense to sign up anyway. It's $60. You probably blow more than that on 3 or 4 chatterbaits anyway.
Oh, easily. Or flatworms. Yeah. Chatterbaits are flatworms.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Especially you with flatworms. Yeah, here's for anybody that can check it out. Here's our Slay Nation tournamentfishing.com website. You can go check out the memberships. When you go check this out, here's our 2022 memberships if you want to get into that. Here's all the benefits you're talking about, like the custom jig. Get custom jig. I think,
from stretching lines, Big D. Yeah. Get that custom jig.
He invented it himself, custom colors and everything for the Northeast. So probably got some green pumpkin in it. That's just my guess.
Yeah, it looks pretty sweet if I remember right.
Yeah, so you get all these things. If you are signing up, make sure that you get Jake or whoever your director is, me. Get your membership, get your liability forms over. You can't fish without them. I'm not letting anybody fish without these. I know people got away with it last year. It's not going to happen this year. It's just not right for
safety and liability is number one.
Yep. So, and that kind of goes with some other rules that we'll talk about later. For our series, at least, we're making check-in, check-out mandatory for those same reasons. It's just all about safety. Wondering where people are, getting off the water. It's not something I want to do. So I'd rather.
Yeah, especially if you have lakes that have multiple ramps. I know most of our lakes are smaller, so it's usually like everyone's launching from the same ramp. But we're going to have an open on the Susquehanna. And, of course, our Civil War event on Cayuga, there are multiple launches to launch from. And that lake is huge. So definitely want to make sure everyone is safe and everyone's accounted for.
Yep. So probably just turn the X2 while I'm at it. But, yeah, I'm going to go through my tournament schedule with the other assistant directors that are going to come on, let everybody meet them. But first I wanted to let's just get it right out of the way and talk about Cayuga. That's the one burning in everybody's chest. Everybody wants to get on Cayuga. I'd like to go right now if I could, but.
Oh yeah, 100%. I would make that drive easily.
But yeah, I'm ready to go. I know some of the things we're talking about today was like the tournament fees. Let me pull it up on the screen over here, and then So for everybody that we were doing the poll, we wanted everybody to, give us an answer on whether they wanted to bump it up $25. It was a big difference in the payouts. What we decided to do after
Yeah, for
talking to
sure.
Jake, with talking to different members that didn't want to do that, we're going to make it an optional side bet, their side pot. I'm going to pull it up on the screen to show everybody, but it will be an optional $25 side bet. If you are in that side pot, the highest placing person will take 70% of that side pot. The second highest placing person in the side pot will take the remaining 30% of the side pot left over.
Yeah, so we decided to do that, guys, just because I mean, I know a lot of guys have prepped their tournament schedules and housing and stuff kind of already. We're both first-time directors, as far as I know, right, Justin? You're a
Yeah.
first-time director.
Yeah.
I'm first-time director, so that was kind of we kind of planned this not late, but like we just thought, hey, everyone's traveling quite a bit. Most of my guys are traveling 3+ hours. A lot of the New York guys and girls are traveling 3+ hours. So we want to try to make it worth it. So I know some people already booked their housing and stuff, and they don't want to pay that, which is totally fine. So that's why we decided to do the side pot. So it's going to be $25, like we said, and only top 2 people that qualify or that enter the side pot will receive it. So 70% to the first top one, and then 30% to the second place winner. But if you win first place and you are not in the side pot, it's whoever signed up for the side pot, no matter if you finish first or 50th. If you were the top angler who signed up for the side pot, you will get that 70% of the side pot.
So somebody's going to regret not doing that. Watch.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of money, guys.
Yeah.
I
mean, you
mean,
got to figure if we have 35 people in the tournament and 30, that's 30 of them do that side pot. You can do the math. I mean, that's a big chunk of change you're missing out on. So I'm taking a chance myself if I'm going to drive 2.5 hours to get there. So we just want to give that opportunity to people.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a great way to get your tournament season rolling. I mean, if you win that first and side pot, you're like your entry fees are covered for the season for sure.
Yeah,
and then some. So it's a great way. I mean, if you guys haven't fished Cayuga, if you've heard me talk about it, I fished it, I don't know, 15 times probably over the years now. And that lake is absolutely insanity. I fished it last year for the EKF tournament, and I finished 12th with 89 inches. It was top 10 was 90 and above, and like 3 guys had 95. So definitely could possibly break 100 inches here. I mean, it's going to be insanity. You can throw moving baits, slow baits. I mean, I caught them on everything last year. Everyone was catching them on multiple different baits, and you could catch giant largemouth or giant smallmouth. It's anyone's game.
Yeah, I followed you guys that were fishing that EKF event. Man, it was just chaos, man. It was like somebody got like 90 inches and they went home with no money. Like that's sad. But
yeah,
that's
I mean, when they shut off like an hour and a half early, they shut off the leaderboards. I was in 7th, that's what they're paying out, was to 7th places, and I had 89. And I was like thinking maybe I'd stick to like 8th or 9th, and no, I got bumped to like 12th or 13th. It was like, wow. I needed
89, but
no, I caught like 10, 15 inches. I just couldn't even get I just needed one more 16 incher, and that would have made a big difference. But there's so many fish, and they're so fat too. These fish are like, if you went girth measurement, you'd probably get more inches. Like I bet you the guys that caught 95 inches, their fish were like 25 inches around. They're just, I mean, if you guys seen any of the pictures of those fish, they were insane, giant.
So if everybody going to Tourney X, most people know how to get on here, but yeah, Tourney X is all set up already. All of our events are set up already on Tourney X, so all this is done. Payouts will be put out later. I might even bring that up on the screen a little bit and show really the payouts. But like if we have, I think it's 37. If we get 37 people and everybody did do the side pot, you're talking $1,000 for first place. I mean,
that's not even including big bass.
Exactly, and that's not big bass on top of that. So, yeah, a couple things just to go with like the boundaries and things like that. We're pretty much going to go with the normal boundaries. First impassable barrier. The only thing with that is the bridge going out the one canal. I can't remember the name of the canal, but it goes over to the 89 bridge.
The south end or north end?
On the north end. On the north end, you can go over through like this canal and go over to like the 89 bridge.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've been up the canal when it gets super windy.
Yeah. If it gets super windy,
this tournament,
we might have to open that up a little bit more into the canals.
Yeah, we might have to open it up. And with this entry fee, guys, if you guys didn't know, this is only for this event. Like, The rest of the
Mhm.
season will be the normal amount. We just wanted to give it this opportunity, since a lot of us are traveling far, to give the opportunity to earn a little bit extra cash. So it's just this event that's going to be upping up the entry fee,
Yep, yep,
optional, I should say.
definitely. Yeah, for ours, we go back to normal pricing for all of ours except for maybe the last tournament. But yeah, so we'll talk about launch times and things like that when we get closer. We'll do that all during the captain's meeting, boundaries. I'll probably put a map out of the boundaries and update this. But that's as far as that part goes. As far as the tournament and the way that's going to be run, it is going to be a team-based event as well as a solo event. So as far as angler of the year, you're going with your individual score. As far as payouts, it's individual scores. I do have plaques coming for first, second, third, and big bass for the tournament. They're pretty nice looking. You guys are gonna like those. You're gonna want one of those. And that's everything to do with the payout, and money is going to go with your individual score. Really, the only team concept that we want to stress on this is going to be the Civil War part. We are going to have some really badass trophies that go to the winning team. So you could be on the losing side of the tournament side, but you could be on the winning team, and you could still go home
Yeah,
and
exactly.
celebrate. So it's possible
Yeah,
you
it's
could.
it's it's big time bragging rights, and like we're gonna look into doing it like next year. Maybe
Yeah,
you guys coming down to PA and just kind of do every other year,
yeah,
just changing it up. That way, a lot of us can get together. I mean, who knows? Maybe if New Jersey gets a good kayak series going, we could do a tri-state thing. Like, just
yeah,
awesome to get people into different states to fish different bodies of water.
definitely, man. Yeah, we're excited to do it. I know. I mean, this is something you came up with early, and we've been talking about it. So it's coming to fruition. We're going to have some pretty cool awards, big payouts, big fish being caught. I mean, it's going to be the event
Oh
of the
yeah.
year for the local events for us anyway.
Oh, it's
It's
gonna be crazy.
going to be a good time. You're not going to want to miss this one. Just for everybody knows too, for last year, all of the tournaments last year were open invite to anybody, non-members. This is not the way that is this year. We do have 3 or 4 events that are non-members can come to, pay the additional fee and get in, but this is a Slay Nation members only event. If you're a member of the PA series or New York series or whatever series in Slay Nation you want to sign up for, you're welcome to come fish with us. And if you're not PA in New York and you're out in Vermont, I guess you just got to pick a side.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, message us if you guys know anyone that wants to uh join up. I never even thought of that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not against that at all. Definitely
Yeah,
have any
you're,
other out
you're
out
part
of
of Slay
staters or
Nation.
whatever.
You're welcome to come fish with us.
Yeah.
You're a slayer. So yeah, we're definitely welcoming that. Um, so yeah, so the way that we're doing the team part of the concept is, I think are we settled on 5? We'll
Yeah,
do
top
that.
5.
So we're just going to take the top 5 scores uh, of each series, add them all together, and see who comes out where. Um, that kind of makes it easy. I mean, we could do best fish or anything like that. It's just easy to add up all the scores. It'll take us 2 minutes. And the top 5 scores
I'm guessing like
together,
450.
450.
I'm guessing like 450 plus. That's like almost a 90-inch average for 5
Yeah, I agree
guys.
with that. 450, 450, 460 is going to take to win that.
It's gonna
Yeah,
be crazy, guys. And another thing, safety wise, if you guys haven't fished, I know a lot of New York people know. PA guys, we don't really have too big of lakes like that. Those glacier lakes up there, especially Cayuga, run north to south long, 40, 60 miles long, and like a mile wide. So if you guys get a north or south wind, be cautious.
yeah,
You get a south wind 5 mile an hour, you'll have 3 footers at the north end easily. I've been in bass boat tournaments, I've seen it all. West wind, east wind, you're good. But even if you're practicing, whatever, just be safe. If you're going to cross the lake, make sure that wind can pick up like nothing. New York people, you guys know how your weather can be, so just be ultra safe. If you guys need anything, like, call us, let us know, like, hey,
yeah,
can't
definitely.
make it back across the lake, whatever. There's plenty of docks you guys can hide at, or maybe you can get someone else to shuttle your vehicle around. There's launches on both sides of the lake, so I just
Yeah,
want to mention everyone be super careful.
yeah, definitely, especially lakes like that. And it is a team concept. I mean, yeah, there's individual scoring and things like that, and angling you're on the line, and I get that, but I'm gonna have some fun with it myself and help out my teammates and make sure my New York boys are taken care of, and the girls too, because
Oh yeah.
we got a lady slayer coming with us, at least one right now, and she
Oh
can fish.
dang.
So yeah, we're bringing the heat.
i'm
But
I'm a little nervous. I don't know.
I mean, but you guys got some experience there. I mean, anybody can take it. So, but I do have
Oh yeah.
I have different plaques too. I was going to do the same plaques, but I decided to go with a different thing. So I got different plaques for that for the winning team. If you're a member of the 5-man winning team, you're going home with a plaque for that too. So you have a chance to go home with a couple pieces of hardware for this tournament. I got local
That is
sponsors
sweet.
already on board. That have Raquel gave me a bunch of lures already. Some have already given me cash, so I've already got some of this stuff already paid for. Plaques are taken care of. Wait till you guys see these. I will post pictures once they arrive. It'll be probably in March that they get here, but they're pretty solid. You guys are gonna want to take one of these home, and that's my goal. I'm gonna try to take 2 of them home, but it's just me.
Yeah,
And I know Jake
yeah,
is.
for sure. Yeah, and another thing is, I know we've gone over ramps and stuff. I know some people might be camping on the lake or Airbnbs, but practice-wise, you guys can launch from any ramp, whatever. If you have a lake house on the lake, that's fine. But tournaments are going to be public launches only. A lot of them have parking fees and stuff like that. But as long as it's like not a place where you have to pay like a lake house or anything, where you can only use
Yeah,
it if you pay to stay there. If you can just drive up that morning, pay a parking fee, and launch, you guys are good
yeah,
that way because I know the north end has like 3 launches that I know of. Middle Lake
at
has like
least.
2, and the south end has some.
Yeah,
So that way it stays fair to everyone. But practice, you guys can launch wherever.
yeah. I know. Right now, the plan and for the awards, because it's before the Cayuga Lake State Park is open for the season. It's just free run, whatever, and anybody can get in there. And I think that's what EKF did last year. So we're going to do the same thing.
Yeah, they went.
We're going
Yeah,
to do the same thing. Go steal one of those pavilions. I'm going to post the link to the GPS coordinates to get there, and we're all just going to go there for the awards. I do have a backup plan I'm working on just in case they're full for some crazy reason, but they shouldn't be
okay.
in May.
So if any
Um,
guys doesn't know, that's like the northwest end of the lake.
yeah,
So if you guys are staying,
Cayuga
anywhere
Lake
from middle
State
of the
Park.
lake to the lower end, it's going to be a little bit of a drive. I mean, from mid lake, I'd say 15 minutes maybe, but south of the end of the lake, it might be pushing half an hour drive. And we encourage everyone to come. Come together. Let's all meet everyone and let's have a
Yeah,
good time and see who takes home the win.
yeah. I mean, it's going to be a lot of money in the line. It's going to be whoever going home. I mean, it's going to it could make your whole year, man. I mean, just the amount of money you're going to win from this tournament.
I mean, that's almost the amount I won for when I won the Ike event. And
Yep,
that was like 90 guys. I mean, that's big money. It's not you're not getting that much money too often.
yep. As far as judging goes, because I know some people have asked me about that, and as far as our series goes too, my plan right now is just to keep it with Jake and I. I think we can handle it ourselves. If I need
Yeah.
to, I know I got Greg and Josh on board that can help me out. I'm sure you can get somebody too, and we can always, if as a backup plan, we can always get a hold of Frankie. I'm sure Frankie get involved and help us do some judging, if we really need it.
Yeah,
But I
who
think
knows? If it's a crazy day of fishing,
we might need
we
help.
could have like 300 fish submitted.
Yeah,
We don't
yeah.
know, but
We might have to call in some
I
reinforcements, but
hope
if we
so.
get to
I
that point,
mean,
you and I will figure that out. But I think you and I can handle it. We'll go through that.
yeah.
Payouts, just so everybody knows, I am going to hold payouts for 48 hours. You and I'd like to do like the next day, re-verify all of the fish. I don't know if
Yes.
you brought it up to me, right?
Yeah, because I know a lot of other leagues do it, and just in case one of us would somehow make a mistake or something, we're trying to look at it on our phones when we're on the water and stuff like that, so we could get just to make sure everyone is happy and point out, we're welcome to people pointing out like, hey, what is this? You question it, whatever, that's fine. Reach out to us. We don't want anyone to be unhappy about that, so we're going to allow 24-hour notice just for us to double check everything so we know that everything was correctly submitted.
Yeah, so we've got 85 days left to Cayuga, man. I'm ready to go already. To tell you the truth, but
I mean, our ice is melting fast today. It was like 60 degrees, so I think I should be on the water in like 2 weeks.
yeah, I might have to come
So I'm
down there and
excited.
fish. But yeah, I got an event next month. I'm ready. But yeah, even up here, I think it was like 40 today. It's nice. It's melting, so that's cool. Um, yeah, what else are we missing on this event? Talked about payouts, talked about awards, rules, judging. We missing anything? Boundaries,
I
launches.
don't, I don't think so. Like you said, we're gonna do a captain's meeting probably that
Yep,
night before, right? We'll
yep.
go over everything again, and
We'll figure it the same way.
yeah, just feel free. Anyone message any of us that has questions. Talk to your friends. Get people signed up. Let's make this thing push 40 people. I mean, I think we're almost at 10 guys that are coming up right now.
Yeah,
So I want to get
yeah.
to pushing 15, 20 guys.
My goal is 40. If we get 40 anglers in this tournament, it's going to be some crazy money flying around and some crazy fish being caught. So That's my goal is 40. And
Yeah.
if it gets to like 50, then it's just gonna be chaos. Just like a good chaos. So I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Yeah. The good kind.
Yeah,
It'll be
that's
sweet.
my goal. But yeah, man, I think that's good for Cayuga. I appreciate you jumping on. Hopefully, your guys
Yeah. No
watch this
problem.
and get some more of your members to jump in. Don't want any of them to be afraid of coming to New York to get a beat down. We're going to send them back with their tails. But
Yeah. You
we got,
just
we
got
got
to come to PA to, get some payback.
we'll be there for that. But yeah, we're definitely bringing some sticks to this tournament. I'm telling you that. Our B&B's got like 7 guys already. I'm excited just to be able to have the B&B and get all the people together, and
Yeah.
I might have to invite a couple more down. I'm trying to work on that now, see who else wants to come. But it's gonna be a good time. Everybody just my main thing is everybody be safe. It's a crazy good lake, but it's also can be crazy dangerous lake. So Jake and I, as he stated, we're gonna check the weather the night before. If there is a crazy issue with winds coming in north to south, something we're gonna have to talk about. Safety is more important than catching some fish. Whether we move it to Sunday
Yeah.
or move it into the canals, there's options. That's the good thing about being a
Yeah. That is
kayak.
a possibility, guys. Is moving it to Sunday. I don't know if everyone booked for that. But just if you could just be careful or like try to plan ahead, we might push it to Sunday. I know the north end you can kind of go on the other side of the railroad tracks and into the canal, but honestly, it's not that much water to fish.
Yeah,
So especially if we get 40 guys, so we really don't want to do that. We want to leave it open.
yeah,
But like I said, as long as we don't really get a south wind, we should be all right. Northeast, south, or northeast and west, we're pretty good unless we got guys down on the south end. So
yeah,
just be super careful, always, even if you can't pre-fish that long, go in. Like, I mean, I think we should be all right. It's May in New York. Last year we were
yeah.
actually perfectly good. We didn't have any issues with that. So with like 3 days of, I don't know, 3 days leading up to it, including the tournament day, there wasn't any bad wind. So we
Yeah.
should be all right.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for us. I mean, if it's like our first tournament last year, we had Oneida for our first tournament. I think it was like May 1st,
Yeah.
and it snowed that night, like the night of the tournament. We all woke up from the morning to go launch, and all our kayaks had an inch of snow on them, and we had to go launch. So yeah, it was
Jeez.
crazy last year, but the fish were still biting. I mean, it was a great tournament, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man. I appreciate you coming on and talking to us, and I'm sure
Yeah.
this won't be the last time we have you on here. I'm excited to go fish with you and against you, or however you want to look at it.
Yeah.
And your guys, I mean, there's a bunch of PA stuff on the wall for a reason. I'm a big Philly guy, so you PA guys are
Yeah.
always welcome up here. Can't wait to fish with you guys.
Yeah, appreciate you having me on, and good luck to you guys this season. I might try to make it up for a normal New York event depending on my schedule, but thanks for having me, and we'll be in touch
All right, buddy. You take care.
later.
All right, and we will bring on a couple other guys tonight to hang out with us. Last year, we had some other directors. This year, just so everybody knows, I am the tournament director, Justin Query, for the year. We do have Josh Fusen and Greg Kronk who are going to help me out at different tournaments. I mean, pretty much every tournament. So if you got questions and you can't get a hold of me, reach out to Josh, Greg, even my father, whoever. I mean, anybody that's been in the chat a lot, been doing these tournaments, they're all pretty helpful. Just reach out to them. So let me bring on these guys. What's up, Josh?
How's it going,
Greg,
guys?
we got you.
How's it going?
Yeah, I got you guys. All right, man. How's the Cayuga talk? You guys good with that?
Oh man, I'm excited.
Yeah, that tournament's going to be on fire. I'm telling you. I'm catching my
Cayuga should be a really good event. I mean, that's going to be prime time for this part of New York.
Yep. Yeah, we planned it that way. I mean, when Jake ran that idea to me to do the Civil War, the first thing I was thinking of was like, I remember that EKF event going off, and I was like, man, we got to do it that same weekend. It's gonna be crazy. And I never got to fish it out of a kayak, so I'm excited to get down there. But all right, I want to go through the rest of the tournament schedule with you guys, get your guys' thoughts on each of the tournaments. For anybody that wasn't around when or didn't sign up when we created the schedule, I didn't create the schedule. We did something fun this year. We put it back in the members' hands, and we did some polls for everybody, and everybody got to vote on their lakes that they wanted to fish. And we did that for what, I don't know, a week or two that went on.
I think you had it up for like 2 weeks, something like
Yeah,
that.
something like that. I mean, I didn't get all the lakes I wanted even. It is what it is. I'm cool with that.
Like you did 2 different ones. We had everybody pick lakes first, and then we took the most picked lakes and let everyone vote on them.
Yep. I mean, personally, I didn't even want Otisco on the tournament schedule, and I know a lot of people do, but I didn't just because we ended up doing it twice last year because of our championship going there. And I
Yeah.
know that Greg and I, when him and I talked, we wanted to just completely change the schedule to new locations, but this is the way everybody voted. That I'm cool with that. That's where everybody wants to go fish. I'll fish Otisco.
Yeah. I mean, that might be something to look at in future seasons as far as completely moving everything, because if we keep doing the same lakes over and over, then you're going to have people who wind up more or less specializing in certain lakes.
Yeah.
Or, especially if we don't change the time of year that we're doing them.
Right. That's one thing I did do is I made sure I changed the schedule. Like Otisco's in a completely like this one's July 30th.
Yeah.
Our other two was like when you want it. What was it? Was it June?
May 15th.
May 15th. Yeah, it was still early, man. And then our championship was in September, so this is gonna be completely different fishing it in like July 30th. I don't know how it will be. Maybe you know.
It can get tough. That lake gets really, really weedy. So if you're not one of these people that loves, fishing in the weeds, punching grass, then you might struggle a little bit. I know that's not my strongest point. So, I'm not expecting a back-to-back this year.
Yes, he is. He's lying. Josh, you know he's going back to back.
He's gonna try.
I'm saying right now he's going back to back. They do. He was hammering him on. Weren't you on beds last year, on him? You were crushing him last year, those smallies.
Yeah, on Otisco, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe do the same thing. Do it again.
But in July, I've always kind of struggled in the summer out there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes, just in a different time of year. So that'll be a fun tournament. Let me bring up the tournament schedule. We'll just start from the beginning anyway. We'll go right through the online stuff first. That's something we're going to do a little different this year.
Just real quick, too, guys, if you haven't commented already, make sure you let us know you're here. There's some fun stuff we're looking at doing, and I need to know who all is in our live.
Yeah, we already got some free stuff from some local bait shops, so we're going to send that out to whoever's in the comments. Josh is keeping track, just so you know. So he'll write you down. We're going to hook you up some free lures. We'll put them in your packs when we go to the Cayuga event. We got a bunch of stuff there. I know a lot of people are wondering about jerseys, so I'll just throw that in there. If I can't get a hold of you before then or meet up with you, I will have it at least by the first event. But I'm going to try to get to meet up with everybody before then. So we'll see when we get them from Slayer Ray. But yeah, let's pull up the tournament schedule. Let's go to the beginning. I'll just pull up the first one first. So this first one is just a practice event. So if anybody wants to do this is a members only stuff. Both of our online series is members only. This is just $5 just to cover the fees. If you see me in person, you can just give me $5 and I'll add you manually so we can skip that. But this is just really for practice. We have a lot of new members this year compared to last year. Might not be new to tournament fishing, but they are new to our tournaments. So this is just an opportunity to go in April, have some fun in April, practice your tournaments, putting your fish on the board, flopping off the board, whatever's going to happen to you. Get it out of the way in April before you get into those May tournaments that we're going to have. If you do anything with the fish, Greg, Josh, myself, one of us will catch it. If we DQ you or knock a fish down in April, it's not to mess with anybody. We're just trying to make sure everybody knows the rules and how to do it then. Man, you even got the pup here. Look at that. Yeah, you got to introduce the pup to the live feed.
Well, this is Biscuits. We got her from Al last fall. So hopefully she'll get to come out to an event.
As much trouble as Jack is, then it's probably not a good time. Troublemakers, man. But yeah, so that's just a fun event, man, for $5. I did get a local sponsor to give me some package of lures and stuff like that. And just so everybody knows that $5 just covers fees, so there's really no payout on this, but I am going to get $50 from a local bait shop to the winner of this just for fun. Just for a month for fun, get $50. It'll put it in your pocket, pay another entry fee for you. So that's just for fun. I hope as many people can get out as possible and catch fish during that time so we can have an opportunity to judge fish and get in the rhythm of that. Anything you guys want to talk about with judging the fish or doing that? I mean, we'll talk a lot about judging fish when we get closer to the events, probably do a live feed on that and talk about catching fish. But
As far as handling the fish, one of the great benefits of doing it in kayaks is the fish get back in the water quick.
Yep.
But we still got to handle them safe. There's certain rules that have been put in place for a reason. We don't want to accidentally damage gills or anything like that. So I haven't really seen it in pictures because I go through the results and look at people's photos after tournaments. So I haven't really seen any issues with people the way they handle them, but we got to be careful.
yeah,
I just
especially
wanted
with
to say that again. Yeah.
KBF changed their rules up. And,
Yeah.
we do take the KBF standard for the rules. Our rule book, if we don't have it specifically specified, we fall back to KBF standard. So they did modify the no touch zone that got kind of controversial at first, so they did fix that. But there is a change to that rule. So if you're not familiar with the KBF rules, on top of the Slay Nation rules, you should go check out those handbooks. Maybe I'll post a link to both of them later in the page. But you should be familiar with both of those.
I know Frank did like a little tutorial video for us. It was pretty good for anyone that has questions.
Yeah. I mean, we'll repost that when we get closer to the tournaments. But I know, Josh, you were new to the tournaments last year. Did you have any issues with? I know you had a couple fish that were like just knocked down like a half inch or quarter inch, whatever it was. But
mine was actually most of mine were bumped up like a quarter inch. I think there was only one time it was bumped down, and that's because I was underestimating it. But I mean,
you can't read. That's all.
It's something like that.
I know I've never seen it in a kayak event, but I know on the boat side of things, if you're catching them out in deep water, keep an eye on them when you release them. Make sure they don't start floating because their swim bladders can't compress and decompress properly. I've never seen where we've had to fizz fish for a kayak, but still, it wouldn't be something. Having a fizz kit wouldn't be bad to keep somewhere in your tackle just in case. If we're catching them out of 30 foot somewhere, because I've done that out at Lake George.
You won't see me doing that probably, but we'll, so. All right, man. We'll move on to the big online series. I know I'm excited for this because I think one of the biggest problems I have with the online events, man, is every 28 days I'm worried about signing up and putting in new identifiers and this and that. So instead of just the way we did it the last couple of years or doing KBF month longs, I figure let's just do one for the season. Let's see who can break 100 inches over the season. I'm assuming a couple people are gonna break that. So we're gonna go the whole season. It's a little bit higher entry fee than a normal $35 month long tournament, but it's going the whole year. You guys in on that?
I haven't had a chance to sign up yet, but I will be.
I'm sure you guys will be fishing it though.
Mm-hmm.
And you can actually start fishing that April 1st too at the same time as the other one. I mean, you don't have to wait till May 1st. But the way that we're going to run these is April 1st, you can start fishing this. Our last event is September 3rd. So on that last day of our event, when we do the AOI awards, we'll also hand out the online series championship. And we will have an AOI or online series championship plaque for that. So whoever wins that gets that. And then you get the entire, I don't think we've even talked about that. No, it is right there. First, second, and third in big bass. So we'll still pay out normal. But somebody's going to get a nice plaque that goes with the online series. So, and that the locations wise, you can fish anywhere in New York except for private ponds. I don't know why this comes up, but I guess this came up last year in certain series. But you cannot fish private ponds. You cannot fish golf ponds, farm ponds, whatever else is out there. If it's not a public body of water, you can't fish it.
The other thing too is with the month long, make sure you're fishing where it's legal, because
that's a huge
everyone knows Jefferson County doesn't open up until June.
Yeah.
So if you're fishing in April, make sure you're not out fishing Indian River lakes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people are confused on that rule. But what Josh is talking about is, and I think even people that are actually actively fishing don't know the true meaning of the rule. But there's no catch and release even in the off season, and it specifically says no CPR. So we can't even outside of in April, we cannot go fish in Jefferson County, St. Lawrence County. I think there's 5 or 6 counties, Franklin, that you can't fish. So you cannot, even for a month long, you can't catch the fish, throw it back in the water. You just can't do it. I'll know if you're doing it. I don't, we would just DQ the fish, but So don't let that come up. Just make sure you're in a legal body of water. If you can't legally fish according to DEC, they're not legal for the tournament.
Nice, Crystal.
Talk about public bodies of water. Types of launches. I mean, there's a difference between going to a marina where you pay to launch, a public launch at a city park and state park, and having a buddy that lives on the lake and launching from their yards. I know KBF, you can't launch from like a friend's place,
Yep.
something like that. So just something to keep in mind. You know, if you're renting a place right on one of these lakes, if you're coming for an event from a couple hours away, that might be an issue.
Yeah, for our events, you can launch there. I mean, not Cayuga, but
Right.
you can launch wherever the hell you want. But that does interfere if you're doing a simultaneous KBF event. Like, is what you're saying. If you're doing a KBF month long, and you're doing our month long, you got to go by the more restrictive rule, which is the KBF rule. You have to launch from a public launch. If you don't care about KBF and the only thing you're doing is our online series event, you launch at your buddy's cabin, I don't care. But yeah, if you're doing other events, you got to watch those rules. Make sure that you're abiding by all the tournament rules, whatever tournament you're.
Right. I was looking at more like live events that we do when we get together. I didn't know how you were going to play that, but I do know like with KBF that would be an issue. And since we are partnered with KBF, it might be something to keep in mind.
Yeah, I mean, like for our first event, Cayuga, yeah, there's no private launches at all. Marinas, state parks, wherever, like those local town parks, if you can get in there and launch, whatever, that's all cool. So.
I know what we kind of talked about was the same thing as they did last year, where the other live events, if you want to pay the money to get the B&B and get a better launch, it's the same as if somebody goes out and spends the money to get a trolling motor and put on their kayak.
Right.
It's going to give you the same advantage either way.
Yep. And that's kind of my still. I mean, that's the same theory I still have, so I'm not going to change that. For certain events, though, we do have to change that. If it lines up with a KBF event or if it lines up with another tournament club or another club, we have to go back to the KBF standard, which is public launches only. And that's how we're going to handle KBF. So that's the online series. You guys are going to like that. You guys will like that plaque you get for that if you want it. It'll be pretty cool. I'm just trying to check up the comments. So then, yeah, we got the Cayuga event after that, May 7th. What is that, 85 days away. May 28th will be our second event of the season, our second live event of the season. May 28th, Owasco Lake. Greg, you're probably going to have to jump in on this one because I know nothing about this lake. But when it was voted by our members as such a popular lake, the first thing I did is reach out to Justin Hausner from NYKBF because they had Owasco Lake on their tournament schedule in May. So it just so happened to work out that it was the same weekend we wanted to hold the tournament. So we're going to have Owasco with them at the same time. So this is a cool event that you can double down with both events. If you want to fish our event and only our event, you can do that at Owasco. At the same time, NYKBF will have their tournament on Tourney X simultaneously, and you can double dip in both tournaments.
To be fair, I've never fished Owasco.
You never fished it?
Nope.
Aren't you pretty close?
Yeah, but Atisco and Cayuga are both about the same drive from me. So I just went to those.
Yeah, I got you.
But also, like Justin was saying, it is going to be doubled down. So if you decide that you want to do both events, make sure you are at a public launch.
Right, because that is, well, actually that event, we're just going to go with their rules. It's like I think I said at the top, but if I didn't somewhere, yeah, right there. We'll follow NYKBF rules and boundaries.
Gotcha.
So
I didn't see that.
even that event number 1 and 2, it's public launches only, marinas, the whole 9 yards, no extra stuff. We're going to follow the more restrictive rules when we need to. So that'll be a fun event. I don't know anything about that lake except for that was like one of the most popular lakes voted by our members for whatever reason. So know nothing about it. I'm excited to fish it though. I like fishing all these new lakes.
I'm sure Chris knows. He knows everything when it comes to the water.
Now we got Frankie in the house now, man. Frankie's in here. So yeah, man. So that'll be our live event number 2 for Angler of the Year. And just so you're aware too, everybody, the Angler of the Year is only live events. The online stuff is its own single thing. The 7 live events will be your 3 best out of those 7 live events will be your Angler of the Year score. So that will be May 28th. We go to our third event then at June 18th. This is gonna be a fun event.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is Old Forge. If you've never been to Old Forge, this is like the place. Bring your family. Go camping out there, man. This place is gonna be fun. And this is the Old Forge Pond all the way through Fifth Lake. So they're all numbered lakes up there. They're first, second, third, fourth, fifth, all the way to like Eighth Lake, I think.
Yeah.
So Old Forge Pond is like where it begins from like the Moose River into the Old Forge Pond and then up through the first through Eighth Lakes. So we're gonna let the Old Forge Pond and the first through Fifth Lakes be in play. There's a lot of water in those 6 combined waters or whatever it is. So plenty of places to fish. I've only fished it once. I fished it with Adirondack KBF for what do they call that event? The mountain with Mountain Man. They got the event there, and that was pretty cool. They do like three bass, 2 pike event. A lot of fun up there. So we did the same type of thing. So that was a popular event. So that'll be our event number 3. You guys got anything you want to say about that one? You guys excited about that one? You guys ever been there to fish?
No.
Well, see, that's good then. You got another new body of water to fish. You get 2 in a row. So then that one, there's not a lot of private launches you're probably going to find, but if you do somehow get a B&B on like First Lake and you want to launch there, you'll be able to do that. You can launch right from there, tournament running. I don't care. We'll let that happen on that stretch of lakes. They call it the Fulton Chain. So that'll be our third event.
I got a buddy that lives down there, and he fishes all the time. He said it's great on almost every single one of those lakes.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I fished Old Forge Pond with Dad on that last Adirondack event we did there before all the COVID bullshit, and Dad was like fishing under boathouses, like watching 19s and shit, like just stroll through. It was cool. Not to say we could catch them. I mean, he caught one, but it was cool. And then it got shut down by lightning, and so it was a crazy event. But a lot of big fish in there. Definitely something like you're going to catch a lot of pike in there too. You're going to get bit by pike. It's just the way it's going to be. That's why they do that pike event there. But so that'll be event number 3. That'll be fun. Event number 4, going back to Saranac Lake. Now we're going to shift lanes in June. June 18th, bass season opens fully in the state of New York. You can catch them and do whatever you want with them anywhere you want. So we can open things up. So July 9th, we're heading back into the Adirondacks a bit. We're going to go up into Saranac Lake, and this is Battlefish country up in here. So Battlefish Charters, AJ is back on board. He's going to sponsor this event especially because this is his hometown. This is where he lives. This is where he guides out of. This is where he lives and makes his rods. So AJ is going to sponsor this event for us. Looking forward to that one. That'll be a fun one. We did that last year combined with Adirondack KBF. I don't think you guys did that event, did you?
No.
Yeah, we did that with I fished with Dad, Jesse, Mike. We went down into these locks, man. Those lock systems are pretty cool if you haven't done them. I put up a video of it last year. It's pretty fun.
I saw the video. Just unfortunately, my job last year, I couldn't do that many of them.
Yeah, you got to see that lake. Like the fishing is good. I mean, it's sometimes just tough, but there is big fish in there. It could be tough that time of year that we're going, but I don't think so. It's like right after 4th of July. It should be pretty good still. But the locks are pretty fun. You got to watch what time you go through the locks, but I'll explain all the lock systems later, maybe. Greg, you ever fished up there?
No, I haven't fished up there, and that was the event I was telling you earlier that might be the one I missed this year.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're doing the Bass Open on Oneida here.
Yeah.
Might sign up for that again this year.
We know where you'll be.
I plan on pulling a Chris and hitting every event this year.
What's that?
I plan on pulling a Chris and hitting every event this year.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit all but one, but there's only 7 this year. I mean, I'm sure Chris will probably hit all of them again, but that's cool. I see Chris and everybody in the chat. Yeah, that'll be our next one. So yeah, that's why I took Battlefish up there. He's going to do something for that event. That'll be a lot of fun. And then we'll talk more about Battlefish later. He's going to sponsor the tournament series for the year. Do an angle with your rod. And we'll get into that after we talk about the schedule some more. So shout out to Battlefish for doing that for us again this year. And then we move into this number 5, Otisco. And this is the event that I will unfortunately not be able to make after some other schedule conflicts. So we're going to be relying on you two a little bit more, as long as you two can both make it. I don't know for sure, Greg, if you can make it, but I know Josh for sure can. But I'm hoping you guys can run the show on this one. And, by then we'll have 4 terms on our belt, Josh, and you guys, and Greg's no stranger to this. So they're going to run this. If they got any problems, Frankie's always a telephone call away, and he can judge too. But I'm going to be down and at the Hobie event down on Susquehanna with a couple other Slay members at the same time, and doing a KFL event with New York Empire. So that's your guys' show to run there. We did 2 events there last year, so if you guys want to talk about Otisco a little bit, you guys know a lot about that.
I mean, I know earlier in the season last year it was on fire. When it came to the championship, they weren't biting as much. It was later in the season.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I pulled 3 19.5s out of Otisco last year. Like, there's some great fishing in there.
Mm-hmm.
Greg
Yeah.
fishes it all the time. He can tell you.
Yeah, I mean, Otisco can be really good. It can be really, really stingy at times. I've been out there days in the summer, when the water gets warm, and you got to have something small and just barely drag it along the bottom even to get them to pay attention. I mean, it can be tough. So that should be interesting. A lot of it's going to depend on conditions. That lake will get very, very weedy. So those of us using prop style drives on our natives are going to have a little bit tougher time than, say, the Hobie guys.
Yeah, that place got crazy when I was there for the championship, man. That
Yeah.
place was like, I went on the south end, and you couldn't even pedal through any of like the south end, some of it. So I don't know what the north end was like, but that thing was, I couldn't believe how weedy it was, and that was in September.
Yeah. So, some of us be spending just as much time ripping weeds out of our drive as fishing. So,
Yeah,
so
that'd be
that's
a
something
good
to keep
event.
in mind, too.
There was a lot of boat traffic last year, too, on that
Yeah, there
lake.
was. I don't know if there was a boat event that day. I can't remember what was going on, but there was.
I think there was, because I remember you getting cursed out.
I don't know what you're talking about, but yeah, those things happen sometimes. But all right, so yeah, that'll be the Otisco event. Yeah, that was a good time. So you guys will be out there for that one. I won't be there. What's that? Chris saying he's going to the Hobie event too.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I guess I got to talk to Chris about that. Maybe he can run down there with us. A bunch of us get in the B&B. So you guys enjoy yourself at Otisco, catch some big fish. I'll be watching on the standings after I get done fishing at the Hobie event. But then we move to number 6, and this is going to be an interesting event. This was actually suggested by Chris, and one of the reasons that this event came up was because we did that Henderson Harbor event last year. That was a complete disaster if you did that event. I mean, unless you won, I guess, but I don't even think the guy that won it had many inches, if I can remember right. The wind was crazy. Couldn't stay in one spot and move.
Wind was crazy. Water levels were low. It was nuts.
Yeah, it was a rough event. So we're going to move it into interior of the lake and get off the main lake of Lake Ontario and get into the spot. A lot of people message me and ask me about what this is, I guess, because kind of a different name. I don't even know about it until like 2 years ago. But these are just these small ponds right off of Lake Ontario, right by the Henderson Harbor area. So you're going to have Lakeview Pond, and then right south of that, you're going to have Sandy Ponds, and there's North and South Sandy Pond. There's only a couple launches on each. They're not big at all. They're not very deep at all. I think they're like average 6 feet. A lot of grass and some stuff like that. But there's some huge fish in there. Like, you could catch a PB out of there. I mean, I'm not saying you will. I don't know, with that time of the year, it's going to be different conditions. I've never fished it in August, but I know some people that go fish there, and there's some big fish in that place. So I'm excited to fish it.
Chris and I went there last year, right before the end of the
Oh, yeah,
season.
you did go there.
And we were at Sandy Pond, and there's a lot of pike in there towards the end of the year. I don't know how it was there in the summer, but I know I caught the biggest pike I've ever caught out of there.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a fun event, especially the time of the year. It'll be interesting, late August, if they only got so many places to go in a pond like that. So
the nice thing too, if anyone wants to like pre-fish that, if you go to Sandy Pond, from what Chris was telling me, a lot of it is not Jefferson County. So you could actually use that for the month long or the season long.
Yeah, because of that place is allowed to fish, right? You said it's Lewis County?
Yeah, when you first launched, and like where we launched, to the right was still Jefferson, but the rest of it was all fair game.
Yeah. So then, there'd be a good spot for people to go and get some practice in before the season starts. But yeah, it's in late August. It'll be a fun event. So hopefully everybody can get down to that one. I know I'm going to that one. I won't miss that. And it's 45-minute drive too. So then we get to our last event. That's going to be the finale of the year for us. Event number 7 on Tupper Lake. It's going to be interesting. We can talk later in the year. I'd like to bump the entry fees on this back up to like the 70. It's the final event of the year. I'd like to go like $75 or something, but we don't have to. We can talk about it later and let everybody vote and talk about that. But
Yeah, we do another side pot.
yeah, we could. Yeah, maybe we'll just do a side pot again for like $20 or $25. Yeah, that's a good idea. So yeah, that'll be our finale. It's Tupper Lake. It's the same boundaries as we've had last year, and if you fish with Adirondack the year before that, this is a crazy place to fish. The views, this all the different launches. There's 1,000 launches to fish across this place, and different places to go. The big fish are going to get caught there. I've never fished it in September though, so I don't know how different it's going to be. That's one thing. I'm glad we moved all the schedule around so that it's in a time of year that I really don't fish that much because of hunting season. So that'll be an interesting one. At that event, we're going to do. Once that event's over, we meet up for our awards. We're going to do the live event awards for that tournament alone, and then we'll tail off into the Angler of the Year event, awards, and then this online series award as well. We'll all of that will be crowned that day, and then that'll kind of wrap up our season for us, as well as the just for people who are wondering, that tournament, anything you catch in that tournament is the last thing you can catch for the online event. So, but they both will close at like 3:00 that day, or whatever it is. So, any fish you count in there could bump you up if you really need an upgrade that at that last point in the season for the online series. You excited for Tupper Lake again, Josh? Because I know you love Tupper Lake.
Oh, that's one of my favorite spots. I'm still determined to catch that big one I lost up there.
Yeah, Greg, you ever get up here? Man, you got to get up. You got to come to this one, dude. I'm telling you, some big fish there. Sometimes people make the mistake of there's certain areas that just get really bad late in the season, like any body of water, and they get stuck on them. But if you do some free fishing on this lake and you find them, you're going to catch some big fish. Yeah, so we got people talking in the comments. I don't know who that is, but
that's Chris. Sorry if I butcher this. Maldonado.
Chris Maldonado, he's pretty good dude. That's because he won Big Bass there last year. That's why he said that. He was Big Bass there.
I've literally got the YouTube stream going on one screen and the Facebook going on my phone with this one over here so that I can monitor everything.
You got too much time, man. Yeah, so that's the last event, so I can pull this down off the screen and get back up here with you guys. I'm excited about the schedule. I know last year they made an 11 tournament schedule. Some of the events were like every other week, and then we didn't have an event for 5 weeks, and it was just chaos to me. So I wanted to strategically do it every 3 weeks outside of that last event, the finale, and just do every 3 weeks and have 2 weeks off in between, and see how that rolls, and just go down to 7 events. I think 11 was just too saturated, and by the end of the year, we couldn't really get as many people in the tournaments. So I think we spread it out a little bit more even and get the 7 best events that we can do. I think we'll have a better tournament series for this year. This is my opinion, but
the other nice thing too, and something that I was big on last year that we didn't get is, it shows right in our membership that there's supposed to be raffles at every award ceremony, and we're going to make sure we're actually doing those this year. So
we're going to get some good ones.
Even if you don't place, you have the potential to still walk out of there with something. So it's not like you just donated your money.
Yeah. Yeah, there's going to be some good stuff. I mean, I already got, like this box right here is already full of lures from one bait shop. Like that was one local bait shop gave me all of that. So there's enough lures in that one box to like do 2 or 3 events, and that's just one bait shop. So yeah, we'll do some cool, I'll have baggies of like, 5, 6 raffle baggies full of stuff at every event for everybody to get. And if you don't place and you're a member, and you can win one of those and at least go home with $20, $30, $40 in lures, it might be worth it.
Yeah.
Get some
Chris
of the
switched
entity
to
back.
Facebook.
What's that?
Chris switched over. He's chatting on Facebook now instead.
That's why I got to, yeah. See, he's always doing the symbols, and that's how I know it's Chris. Yeah, let me think about what else we can think of. Battlefish, man. Let me pull up his site real quick, man. You guys got. I'm excited about the new rod he's gonna make. He's gonna. Wish I could show it on screen.
For anybody that didn't see it last year, like AJ makes some really good rods.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to show one. I don't know if I'll be able to show it that well on camera, but yeah, you see the Battlefish rod. I mean, it's he gave me the Slayer of the Year just for Winning Angler of the Year. He did that. He's gonna do it again for us this year, and I think he's making a drop shot rod. That's what that is. He made a drop shot rod for me. I got a chatterbait rod. AJ is gonna sponsor the whole series too. So if you are if you're a member of Slay Nation, you get also 10% off his rods. So yeah, this is his website. Go to battlefishcharger.com. Just go check it out. He's got down here Battlefish Rod Company. And he has everything. I mean, we bought half of the Slayers in this group own a custom ice rod from AJ.
Oh yeah, I got one for Christmas. They're nice. Anyone looking for a good ice rod, hit up AJ with Battlefish.
Yeah, and fly rods, trout rods, whatever you need. And he's got some good prices on him. He's got some nice bass rods that he's coming out with. Him and I have been coming up with some other combos that he's building actually for me right now. I think he's building me 5 rods. He's building my dad 2 more rods for the tournament season. So yeah, you get 10% off if you're a Slay Nation member. Go in and scoop up another one of them. You're gonna see Battlefish rods at our events. I'm gonna have some for sale. So if you wanna buy one, I'm telling you right now, and this isn't a lie, I can show you videos. I won both of my events last year, and my second place with all 3 of those were on a Battlefish rod. And that's the truth.
I can actually tell you that on Oneida, I remember Justin rat nested 3 different times and switched his bait caster each time just because he wanted to use that Battlefish rod.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I took my 13 fishing rod and threw it in the back and paired up and respooled and retied my Battlefish rod, and I could feel that chatterbait all over again, like the way I needed to. And after that, I think I felt in second place after that too. And then I went back to that Battlefish rod and pulled like a 19.5 in with like 20 minutes left. So it makes a difference, man. So yeah, check out AJ's rods. Get your 10% off. Just tell them you're a Slay Nation member when you want to get a rod built, and you get a little discount there. And then try to win yourself a Battlefish rod for Angler of the Year. I know I'm gonna try to win another one, along with some other stuff for Angler of the Year. I know Greg was actually the one who suggested it, and we're doing it, man. We got the Angler of the Year championship belt coming this year, and it's going to be sick. I saw the preview of it. I can't wait to show you guys pictures of this thing when it comes. But I want that thing to go up on the wall back here. I know Greg wants that thing. It was his idea, but everybody gets plaques all the time, man. But like
Jack.
To get a championship belt, like with a big bass on it, and Slay Nation, it's gonna be pretty cool. Now see, there's some smack talk in there.
Yeah, that's Jacob.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I saw an ad for the thing somewhere, and I thought it would be cool because everybody does plaques or little things like that. This is something that's if you don't want to put it somewhere, it's easy to stick in a box or a drawer or something and stick away.
Out to talk trash.
Otherwise, it's something you can pull out and talk trash. You can show up to events the next year with it draped over your shoulder, and
we show up to PA next year and show them that our
you can have a couple of words on the shoulder, man, coming into PA. But yeah, I like the idea. We're already doing. Slay Nation gives out a plaque. That one right there. If you need to see what one looks like, I won that one this year. So there'll be another one, but besides the Angler of the Year plaque, we want to do something different. And I like that idea. So we're going to get a championship belt. You'll win that. You win a custom drop shot rod from Battlefish. It's going to be a bunch of lures I got from local bait shops to go in there. I'm trying to do some money now, so I'm trying to get some money added into that. And if I can get $500, something like that, added into the AOI funds, I'll make sure it actually goes out to the winner too. Yeah, I'll do something like that for the end of the year. So that's the plan right now. The plaques that we do have, I got 5 custom ones for the Cayuga event coming. Those are pretty nice. Got a cool, I think like they're kind of like glass. They're not glass, but what do they call that? And they're pretty cool, custom cut for this. Slay Nation logos on it. Cayuga Lakes on there. And if you're one of those top 5 on that team, winning team, you're gonna take one of those home. On top of that, all of our events, you will get a plaque if you win the event. Custom plaque with, Slay Nation something on it. So I'm trying to get some more local bait shops to jump on board, whatever, some more sponsors, whoever it can be. And if we can bump that up a little bit more, actually, we could probably get second, third, and big bass plaques on top of that from the same people. And they're pretty nice. They're like those metal cutouts, what people are doing, those machines.
And they're the poker chip looking things, the challenge coins or whatever.
Yeah, those are going to be pretty cool, man. Yeah, I want one of those. When he said challenge coin, I was interested to see what he meant because I thought, I'm a military, so I was thinking challenge coin like that. But yeah, when he showed me the actual poker chip, and they're pretty cool. I definitely want one of those. Every event you win, including the online series, if you can win that, you will get one of these poker chips from Slay Nation, and that is your ticket into the online national championship. And Frankie, if you haven't seen details on that, watch the Slay Nation, Slay Station broadcast, and Frankie talks about the National Online Championship because there's some different brackets you get into. But that'll be pretty fun, man. If you can get into that, a chance to win a National Online Championship against some of these people, a bunch of prizes and some money. So there's opportunities there. We're just trying to get some more chances for people to win money, get on the water. You guys got any questions or think of anything?
No, but challenge coins, if nothing else, are a neat thing to keep. I mean, I've got one from something else I keep on my desk.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of designs you can get, but
yeah.
So I'm looking forward to those. Hopefully, I can collect 1 or 2 of those this year.
Yeah.
So that would be the custom poker chips. That's what they are. Yeah, challenge coins, they can get expensive. I think.
Oh, that's why you did it that way. Okay.
Yeah.
I honestly, I think the poker chips are cooler anyway.
Yeah.
Something different, man. I like them. I'm planning on taking a couple of them home this year, but.
Yeah, I know. As far as challenge coins, we had 5 of them made back in 2015 for a thing, and they were a couple $100 just for 5 of them.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. Poker chips, man. You get into that National Online Championship, you never know what you can win there. There's another event that might possibly go down this year. If it doesn't happen this year, maybe it'll be next year. But there's some planning going on there. But as of now, we got our 7 live events, our 1 main online event, and that'll be our series this year. I'm looking forward to it. I know Frankie's done a lot of work getting national sponsors for the national series across the board for Slay Nation, so appreciate that on Frankie. There's some wicked sponsors on board, discount codes. I mean, every couple weeks you'll get a new email with discount code updates, and I never used to be a discount code guy, but until I see some of these 30-40% discount codes, and you probably should start taking advantage of that. So I started doing that this year myself, but definitely some cool companies that Frankie's working with, so we appreciate that. And we got some local sponsors that we are going to continue to work with, some bait shops that are going to work with us, and I'll post more on the local sponsors at a later time. Hopefully they can sponsor like big bass for every event. It'd be cool if we got like an extra $50-$100 every event for big bass. But Josh, what do you think? You got anything you want to talk about?
I want to take a second and give thanks to Justin for all the work he's done so far for this tournament. Like, with us having a lot of new people, you might not know it, but with everything with the last director and him dropping out, like, we almost lost the tournament series up here. So you would have only had KBF to do if you wanted to do them. So Justin kind of stepped up and took on this role and really has put in a lot. Like, it's what, middle of February, and we've already got a tournament set for every date. We He's working on boundaries already. Like we didn't even have this stuff last year till closer to the start of the season.
Yeah, definitely.
And
Yeah,
we,
man, I just want to be more prepared, man, this year. And I know personally, I'm a creature of habit, so I like to prepare. And if I can't prepare with boundaries and know where to stay for B&Bs and things like that, it gets confusing. I know I had one event where I pre-fished and then turned out where I couldn't fish that spot for the event, so I wasted my
that's
time.
the thing too. Like we plan on having boundaries out way
They're
ahead
already
of
out.
this year.
They're done. Look at every event; they're already listed. I finished it.
Yeah, I hadn't been on there to see that yet. So
So ahead of the curve on you, guy. I got you covered, man. But yeah, I mean, boundaries are already set. They might change a little bit.
based
That's
on
always
wind
subject
and
to change.
whatnot.
So, we could open things up a little bit more if the wind is crazy on a lake. We might open up some river or canal a little more than we were expecting to. But yeah, Josh, appreciate the thing there. I mean, I wasn't planning on being director. I wanted to fish and just concentrate on fishing. I got a lot going on myself with kayak fishing league and the New York Empire, and I'm excited to fish with those guys and got some awesome teammates over there. I'm going to fish with. Going to fish the Hobie events this year, 2 or 3 of those. But we have too many good bodies of water up here. I think Greg and I had really long talk about this, and man, there's too many good bodies of water up here to let it go to waste. And there is other clubs up here. I mean, Adirondack is an amazing club. I've fished with Adirondack since I got into this 4 years ago. That was the reason I started kayak fishing. I fished my first event with Brian Balzier at Saranac Lake, and um, that's why I'm stuck doing it the way I am now, is because I got hooked and I had a great time with those guys. I'm still going to fish with those guys this year. So there's Adirondack. There's New York Kayak Bass Fishing has, I think, 2 different branches of like their club this year, right?
Yeah,
They're doing,
they got what they call their western and then their central,
yeah,
but predominantly they mainly focus right along through the Finger Lakes.
yep, yep.
So they're really good guys. I've known Justin a few years that runs
Great
that,
guy.
and and the other guys over there, and I fished with them for a few years. But there's really there was really nothing right along the 81 corridor, and there's
That's it.
so many good bodies of water along that route
Mhm.
that just weren't really getting taken advantage of on a regular basis. I mean,
Yep,
there was definitely room for another, kayak series,
it is. Yeah,
and this is it.
yep. And I think this is going to continue to grow. I hope it does. I think we can, and if we get even more members and we want to grow to 8, 9 events in a year, I have no problem doing that if it gets to that point. I want St. Lawrence to get added to it too. We're around the St. Lawrence. Anybody that hears upstate New York, one of the first things they're going to hear of bass fishing is the St. Lawrence. So I want to add it. I know some spots you got to be careful on, but there's plenty of places within bays and inlets of St. Lawrence that I really want to do a tournament on, and some people will catch some big fish and some big bags. So I want to do that for sure. I'm excited to do that. Maybe next year we can open it up to St. Lawrence and change it up a little bit.
I know a big part of growing it too is like all of the members. We appreciate every one of you, and like you guys just word of mouth and talking to your friends, getting to sign up. We actually, me and Justin were talking towards the end of last season, and we got some business cards drawn up.
Yeah,
Look
I
like
got
this here.
yeah, I
Got
got
tournaments right on the back. If anybody wants some of them, we've got some extras we can give you to kind of hand out to your friends and try to get more people to sign up. At top of that, it only helps you guys out. The more people we get in a tourney, the more money goes into that pot. The more money could
exactly.
go into your pocket.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll have like 5 or 6 of the cards in everybody's bag at the first event. I'm gonna try to meet up with everybody earlier to do jersey swaps. I don't know when they're gonna come in. I know they're gonna obviously there's already tournament series that are already running, so obviously those are the priority for Slay Ray and Frankie to get those jerseys out to them. But when we do get them, I'll probably do 2 or 3 trips around the North Country, meet up with people at a certain spot and hand off jerseys and bags of goodies to everybody with your face mask and whatever else is in there.
Jacob
So,
said he'd drive up for St. Lawrence.
who said that?
Jacob.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people would come up for the St. Lawrence event. I've never actually fished it out of I fished it out of a boat, but I've never fished out of a kayak, and I think it'd be pretty crazy.
And you got to be really careful with St. Lawrence. That
That's what I
current gets
worry.
wicked.
Yeah. That's the only reason I honestly I'd like to have done it this year, but my first year being director too, and that's a dangerous body of water as well. especially in a kayak. So we'll ease our way over to that one.
Well, I went up there and did that Bass Open there last
Yeah,
year,
right.
and the wind was coming in off the lake directly towards us. And, these bass boats will go 60, 70 miles an hour across the water. Most of the time, we were doing 30, 40
Yep.
in those because it was
Great
just too
point.
much.
Yep.
I mean, there's no way I would take a kayak out in the spot like we were going.
Yeah, no, but there's
But,
there's so many inlet and small bays.
yeah,
Like I ice fish a lot of those, and
yeah.
I know
And,
some big bass.
yeah, but I've gone up to like, around Alexandria Bay and
Hmm.
places like that. And, and even then, with the Thousand Islands, you got all the islands where they split up everything. There's the main part of the river, and then around the islands, it isn't too bad.
Right.
So there's definitely plenty of places we could do up there.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. I'm sure we get enough people in the series that we'll figure out some boundaries and we'll do something. We'll keep it safe, and somebody will get on some of those giant St. Lawrence smallmouth. And I'm definitely going to do it out of my kayak. So maybe this is the year to go get some practicing out there. Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else that we thought of or could think of
Did
to talk
you
about.
did you touch on the award ceremonies in the beginning of this?
Oh, a little bit, but I will talk about that. So, Greg, I know you and I haven't gotten to talk about this, but man, you've done tournaments, kayak tournaments for how long you done these now? I've been doing it 4
Just
years.
be
I've
like
been doing it longer.
fourth year, something like that.
Yeah, so maybe
Yeah.
we got in the same year here. But I know when I first got into it, it was a lot different than the way it is now. And when I went to tournaments in KBF or Adirondack KBF, NY KBF, I went to all three of those. And when the tournament was over, we had to go to mandatory awards ceremonies. And part of that was safety reasons, that everybody was checked out off the water and you knew they were safe. With COVID, that kind of changed the way that tournament fishing really went for kayak fishing across the country. And it didn't really get back to that old style yet. So for me, this year, I think we need to go back to having mandatory awards meetings. Um, two biggest reasons I have for that is number one is safety. I only did one tournament as a director last year, or technically two, but one where we had service, and I had one guy that didn't check out for like 45 minutes, man, and I was worried about the guy, and I was like texting him, he wasn't answering because he didn't have self service where he was driving at that point, but he forgot to check out. I didn't know where he was. So my thing is if everybody has to get off the water at the same time, come to the same location and check in. If you don't want to stay around for the awards and you have places to go and you want to go home, that's no problem with me. I don't mind that. But at least come check in at the awards with one of us three that are in this room. Let us know you're there, and then you can take off for the go home. But it also creates a competitive disadvantage, or however you want to say that, Greg, if that makes sense. You think about it as if me and you were competing for first place and we're coming down to the wire, and you were like, hey man, screw it, I'm just not going to go to the awards because it's not mandatory, so I'm just going to fish right up till 2 o'clock, because why not? It doesn't make sense not to, because you don't have to get out the water at that point and be somewhere. But if I want to get to the awards, I'm going to jump off the water at maybe 1:15, 1:30, because it takes time to get to the awards location. So I don't like it being up in the air for both sides on that. I didn't like that.
There's also like what happened at Otisco last year, where you shut off the standings a half hour before the tournament ends.
Yeah.
And remember what happened with me, where I caught 91, and then something happened with the way the director had judged it, and it didn't show up, and that's a chance. So if there is a discrepancy, for everybody involved to get together, look at it, discuss it, go through it, make sure it's corrected. I mean, if it hadn't been for that, I'd have been second at Otisco last year.
If it hadn't been for you showing us pictures on your phone, you wouldn't have been able to win.
Right.
And you should have won that tournament, and you did.
Right.
So
yeah, there's a definite benefit to it. Far as locations for the awards, that'll be something I guess we'll have to talk about, because and it's going to vary, because I know with NYKBF and whatnot, it had always been like they showed up to like bars and restaurants. I wouldn't mind us looking at, even if there's like public parks where we could get together, like I was talking about earlier, like, somebody brings a cooler with a bunch of hot dogs and we cook, and everybody sits around and eats, jokes, chats. That'd be great.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And just get more of these parks. Like Otisco had that park. That was a nice spot for it.
Yeah.
It was an open spot. I like that. We could sit there and talk and do our thing. But yeah, I'm not gonna have it at any bars or anything like that. Unless they're giving us like free food and beer, maybe. But none of them are doing that. Trust me. So we'll try to use like state parks. Like Cayuga, we're using the Cayuga Lake State Park. It just makes sense. It's a free pavilion as long as nobody's got there before us.
Right.
And it's gonna be May 7th, so nobody's gonna be there. So we'll go take care of that. We'll get a pavilion. We'll put up our banners. Everybody can come hang out.
Yeah.
What's Crystal talking about in the chat? What was you saying? How are you?
Oh, she was asking if you're going to keep the standings open till the end of the event.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I hate that. I hate tournament standings being turned off. That's personally because so many people watch online from home. And then the last 45 minutes of an event, they're not going to be able to find out who won. I don't like that. So I will never turn off tournament standings in any event that I ever run. And that's just the way I'm going to keep it. I like to keep the excitement going. It will keep sandbaggers from waiting until the standings get turned off and then throw them in the bag when nobody knows they're there. Standings will never go offline as far as I will run a tournament. KBF was supposed to go that way. I don't know why they changed back because then yeah, I get the last hour people want to do something, but then they don't open it back up for like 9 hours, so nobody knows who won until like the next day. It takes away the excitement of it. I'm not going to do that.
And she had said something about doing get-togethers like in a park or something being mandatory because it gives a chance for everybody to know each other.
Yeah, definitely. If you really got something going on and you can't stay, at least check in with one of us three. Somebody.
I'll be perfectly honest. I'm terrible with names.
Yep.
So there's probably quite a few of you I fished with in NYKBF, and I fished with you guys in Slay Nation last year. And I could probably only name 4 people on site just because I'm terrible with names.
Yeah, that's okay, man.
And it's not to be insulting, but how often do I see everybody? If I don't get time to interact, social networking is a big part of this.
It is.
If you want to do this and you want to start looking at eventually where, you get sponsorships, social networking is a big thing along with your social media.
Yeah, that's all I care about.
But that's something else.
Sponsors help me out now. We're going to the KFL, and that's the first thing I ask is, are you going to be posting on Facebook? Are you going to be posting on Instagram? Are you going to be posting on YouTube?
Right.
And, that's what I want.
And making friends with people who have already got these types of deals, and being able to learn from them, and having somebody that can vouch for you, is actually a really good thing.
And I personally, and like you said, I like meeting up with the people, all the guys and the girls, and just seeing what everybody. What did you do today? How did it go for you today? And just getting to meet everybody. And I think the more that we do that, we build up some camaraderie in our core group of members, and hopefully retain our core membership until every year. We'll build up a pretty good group here. I know that a lot of these groups that have been around for a while, they got the same group, core guys that show up every year. So you get a good group of guys like that, you can have a pretty good tournament series. I think we're going to do the same. I think it's just going to keep getting better. We're only at 24 members. I'm hoping to get up to 35.
I still say we're going to hit 40.
I hope so. I know some procrastinators. I'm not calling anybody out on live stream, Mike, but there's some procrastinators, Mike. But yeah, Greg, he'll get his. But yeah, I don't know. If you don't have your membership, you got 3 weeks to get that before you get your. You still get your name on the back of your jersey right now, so you got 3 weeks to get that. Yeah, Greg's procrastinator. That's okay. But yeah, the other thing with the awards and signups, we could talk about this, as a group if we need to change it. But I'd like to cut registrations off a little bit earlier. I don't like waiting until 6 a.m. the morning of a tournament. I don't know what your guys' feelings about that is, but it's hard as a director to figure out paychecks and get all that stuff figured out when you got people signing up at 4:30 in the morning.
Especially this year because of the fact that there's going to be, members and non-members potentially in these.
Yeah.
It's not going to be as quick and easy to say, all right, we got 15 members. It's going to be $100 for first place, yada, yada. We've got to actually go through and do the math and figure out your non-members and members. And it's going to take a little bit longer. So it'll be easier if we can do that like right before we go to sleep or whatnot.
That's what I'm thinking. You know, I don't know if we do like, I think right now I have it set at, I'm turning it to like 10 p.m. the night before the tournament. So, you know, we're going to do all of our live captains meetings the same way as this stream is going through Facebook and YouTube. This same way we're doing it right now. All of our awards will go the same way. Or, you know, captains meeting will go this way. So I don't think we'll have too many issues with that. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. So be a good year. I appreciate your guys' help, man. Help me out. I can't do this alone. This needs to be a group effort, man. I can't run a tournament series. It needs, you know, it's only as good as its members. That's my theory. So the group makes the decisions. That's why you won't see me making decisions unless I really have to. And even then, I'll talk to you guys about that. But you know, where we're going to fish, we'll always vote on that. What time of the year we fish, we'll try to vote on that. This year is kind of staged. I set it at 3 weeks apart and kind of staged it. But yeah, a lot of things we'll vote with. You know, I'm not going to make any major decisions without talking to the group. I'll at least talk to the other tournament directors first, and then we'll talk to the group and we'll make changes. You know, if we have to move an event from Saturday to Sunday because of wind being 45 miles an hour, I mean, I'm not going to fish an event with 40-mile-an-hour winds just because we don't have to fish. You know, it's one thing like, you know, as much as I would like to force every event to happen, there is a possibility of that happening. I've never been part of that, but there's a possibility that that could happen to an event where it gets delayed, or maybe you have a delayed start in the morning. I don't know what can happen. It's my first year running this, so I don't know. I think Josh, you're on mute, by the way, but
Oh, I know. The old lady's yelling at the kids back there. I didn't want
I
everybody
thought,
to hear it.
I thought you were getting permission for tournaments to go fish. But,
Oh, no. I gave her the schedule. I'm going to every one of them.
okay, so we'll see. Yeah, I'm excited to see who wins Angler of the Year. I gotta ask you guys to your Angler of the Year predictions. We're gonna have some power rankings coming out. Power rankings are not gonna be the same as Angler of the Year rankings, if that makes sense, because you might not be in the top 5 for Angler of the Year, and you might be one of the guys that's probably gonna win it because you might not have your third event in. Like Greg last year, Greg was sitting in a really good spot for Angler of the Year all year, but he didn't have his third event until later in the year. But so we're gonna do some power rankings. We'll do some cool stuff like that, and we'll keep that updated like on every event basis. I'm gonna update all that stuff, and it'll just be for fun. You know, nobody needs to take any hard feelings out of it. But I'm planning on winning Angler of the Year again this year, but that's not my guess for it. I got my guess who's gonna win it, but don't guess yourself. Who do you think's gonna win it?
I think Chris is going to take it home this year, honestly.
Who was it?
I'd love to say me, but I think, you know, Swim Bait Chris is taking it this year.
You know, honestly, I give Justin a good chance of going back to back. I mean, you know, even lakes that I saw last year that he hadn't, you know, from his own admission, hadn't fished a lot. He did fairly well. And we got a good mix of lakes that I know he's really excited about, that he's fished a good bit. So,
but I know him and Chris were pretty much neck and neck, and Chris like the first half.
So was Greg, though. I mean, honestly, Greg couldn't fish with us for a couple of events, and he was busy. But if Greg could have done a couple more events, no doubt Greg would have been fighting for that title because he had the interest.
I think I missed half the season. I hurt my back, and then stuff like that, and just couldn't get out. And I think up until like next to the last event, I was still in like the top 5.
Yeah.
And that Otisco bag pretty much is what did it.
Yeah, that Otisco bag was big. And that's why I think that's like the weird thing with our tournaments up here in New York is that those early season tournaments, you need one of those big bags off that tournament. And it might came at Cayuga. Like if you get 4 or 5 guys coming out of there with 92-inch bags plus, that's going to be a tough thing to come up with. If you go out of there with like an 84, it's going to be tough to come back with that for Angler of the Year, I think.
I would not be shocked if there aren't at least, if there isn't at least 100-inch bag on Cayuga.
Do you think it'll happen? Because, man, I think it will.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if there's not at least one. I mean, you know, it's like I was talking before when we were chatting before we started this. We were talking about like, you know, some of the other folks that we know of that fish out there, you know, to go out and they pull 100-inch bags off that lake. You know, I don't know how many of you guys, you know, might watch Greg Blanchard's videos.
Yeah, he's a great guy, man.
And seeing him where he's gone out there and in his videos where he's going out for one day, he's pulling, you know, especially that time of year,
Yeah.
and
The
he's
magical dot.
pulling, if he was fishing in, in a boat tournament, he would have had like, 25, 30 pound bag.
Yeah, yeah, he definitely would have had a 30-pound bag
Yeah.
that day. It was insane. Like these
Yeah.
were like some of these fish were like 17 inches that he's catching. They're like 5-pound fish. Like how
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah. They're little butter balls out there in the
Yeah,
pre-spawn, but
yeah. I think 100 inches could happen. I think
yeah,
it's going to take 90, 97 to win it. That's just my guess. Like if
yeah,
you don't have 97, you're not going to
it's
win that.
definitely going to be in the upper 90s.
Yep. That's great.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've gone out there, down to Cayuga and had good days where I've gone out there, late May, right after they spawn, and I'm still catching, you know, several, 4 or 5 pounders.
Yeah, that's
So
great.
you can do it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm excited for that event. Yeah, my angler of the year pick is neither of those people. I mean, of course, I think I'm gonna go back to back, but so not picking myself, and I'm not being biased and picking my own man. I'm taking Hoops, man. That Brian Hoops is one of the most consistent anglers in this field, and we got a pretty good field already in this 24, man. But Brian is consistent in his 80s, man. He was always in those 80s range, and he gave me a run for the money for angler of the year last year.
Oh heck yeah!
What's
He
that?
came out on Cranberry and forgot his
Yeah,
paddle in the
crazy.
car, and then still came back and like placed on top.
He took
Like he was
second.
going along the bank with a stick,
Yeah.
just trying to still fish until he could get his paddle.
Yeah, yeah, that's my pick for angler of the year. I think if anybody unseats me, it's not Chris or Greg, But yeah, my pick is Hoops, man. That guy can fish. He's a cool dude. I like fishing with him last year. That Cranberry Tupper weekend was a big event for us last year because taking that second there and then winning Cranberry. But he was on my ass at Cranberry, and he didn't get to fish like what you said the first hour of the tournament. If he could have fished that first hour,
I want to say it was like 7:30, 8 o'clock before he even got his paddles to get out there.
yeah, I mean, if he could have fished that extra hour and a half, and I caught my biggest fish, second biggest fish of the day was the first fish I caught. So if he would have been there for that, could have changed the day. But yeah, that's my pick for angler of the year. That boy Hoops can fish. There's a lot of good fishermen. I mean, we got a lot of new people that people don't know. My good buddy Jake, my buddy Jake from the Kayak Fishing League is one of our slayers, and that dude can fish. I think he's getting married tomorrow. I'm not positive. I might have to pull up his phone and ask him, but if he is, congrats on that, man. But that's my guess is Hoops. It's going to be a good year. We have so many good anglers, man. Jake could win it too. I know Jake's got a couple buddies, Paul and a couple other guys that are pretty good. They're pretty good anglers. And yeah, we got the guys that were in it last year. We got 4 or 5 good guys from last year that were chasing me down that they could go on it this year. So what's going on in the comments before we end this? Everybody's talking about how good Hoops is. Yeah, you see, they know. Everybody's picking him.
That's all Chris saying that.
Yeah, I can't tell who that is, but yeah, he's not joking. The guy can fish. So yeah, thanks for jumping on, guys. I appreciate your guys' help, man. I know I put a lot of work into building this stuff up, man. From the binders, nobody has to worry about that, but it's got all our insurance, got our waivers in it, emergency contact stuff. So if you haven't done that, by the way, send that to me. Yeah, we're prepared for the season already. We're ready to go. So I'm ready to go. Catch up with us. We're going to do another live stream on, let me get the date for you.
Well, you're looking that up real quick, Justin. This is our first one doing these, and we plan on getting some more in here. So if you guys can kind of comment, put in there what you liked, what you didn't like about the stream, we're always going to be working to try and make things better and keep things good for our anglers.
Yeah.
And I'm expecting half those comments to be that I had my camera on. As far as didn't like.
We had a good time with you on there.
But no, just offhand, one of the things I'd be interested in seeing is if we can do ones on, because I remember when I started doing the kayak fishing, honestly, I started bass fishing the same year I started kayak fishing, which was the first year I did tournaments.
Same here.
So I didn't really start doing this at all till 4 years ago.
Sign me up.
And, I wouldn't mind if we couldn't do some videos for new people, as far as prep, things
Yeah, we
like
can
that.
definitely do that.
Because, I'm already thinking about, okay, it's time to start, going back, make sure everything on my drive for my kayak's tight, and getting this ready and getting that ready, and tackle that I know I'm going to have a hard time finding throughout the year, trying to get it now while it's off season.
Yeah.
Like I'm big into finesse fishing. Net heads and drop shot weights are a pain to get half the year. If you can get them while it's off season, now's the time to buy them. And that's
Yeah,
the
definitely,
truth.
man. Yeah, I'm already ready, but I mean, I got an event. I'm going to the Hobie event, and me and man are going to go to Sandy Cooper in South Carolina in like 5 weeks. So my stuff's already packed and ready to go over here. I got some more lures I got to buy, but my kayak's actually in the living room getting worked on. I'm ready to go. It's rigging season for me. That's my favorite part of the season, the rigging season, getting ready to go in the water. So I'll be ready. I'll get that nice warm up at the Hobie event, and then come back just in time for April. April's crazy up here, and I'm gonna go down to Oneida, go down to Cayuga, do some practicing down there with some of the guys. If anybody wants to fish for fun, if you don't have anybody to fish with, you've never done this before, a bunch of us going out in April to a couple different spots that are able to be fished. Come fish with us. I don't care who you are. I mean, if you never fished with anybody, just come fish with us. We're gonna just go practice for a day or two.
That's Van Horn that wants to know who's running the live scope.
Shit, that ain't gonna happen here. I don't have that kind of money.
Me either. I mean, I've got my little spreadsheet with my dream build for my next kayak, and
that's down here.
Yeah. And it's got what is it, one of those the Humminbird 360 scopes they got.
Yeah. I'm working on trying to get one, but
stuff like that. I'm like,
if I get one discounted, maybe I'll get a live scope. But
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, not this season.
Yeah, I'm honestly like you, Greg. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I've only been bass fishing the same way, like 4 years. I'm a trout guy by trade, trout and salmon, and not salmon like you. I mean, you're beast in salmon, but trout is where I grew up fishing. My whole life I've trout fished, and then like 4 years ago, my buddy sold me his feel free kayak, and he's like, yeah, go fish for bass on the Black River. And then I caught one like on purpose. I mean, I've caught bass in my life before on accident, but then I caught one like on purpose with some plastics, and I was like, shit, man, there's something to this. I'm gonna keep doing this. And then I did that Adirondack event, and one thing led to another. Man, I fished with NYKBF a couple times. Awesome guys down there. We got like what's the other one? Central. I can't remember the name. CA.
Yeah, CNY Anglers.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, one of our anglers is actually running it this year.
Yeah, and aren't they tied in with a group in PA as well?
I'm not sure. What they're doing.
I'm not sure.
But yeah, Phil Dudek is running that. So
yeah,
I've had a lot of people that have asked me about getting memberships, but they don't want to end up signing up because they're way down south, like Binghamton area. I got a couple of people that talk to me, and I mean, there's other kayak series. I'm not going to tell you there's nothing to fish. I'm going to steer you to Phil or one of these other term series that have a spot for you. There's enough fishing clubs and kayak fishing clubs in New York. There's a spot for everybody, I think. So Adirondack, New York, KGF, and then Central Kayak Anglers, whatever they're called. They're a pretty good group too. They've been around for a while. So there's some options there, man. But yeah, come fish with us. We got some pretty cool events coming. It's gonna be a good year. Lots of cool awards.
You said you grew up a trout guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll have to get together and go out to Oak Orchard this fall.
Yeah, I'm down for some trout fishing, man. I ain't done it in a couple of years because of bass fishing, but
Oak Orchard. You ever been out there?
Nope.
Oh, look it up. Find some videos.
All right, man. Well, I think we've been out here long enough, about an hour and a half, but I think everybody's tired of looking at us and definitely tired of looking at me. We'll be back on March 31st. That's going to be our next live meeting. It'll be done the same way as this. That's like the captain's meeting for the online series, both those captain online events going on. And it'll kind of be our season kickoff right there. So we'll see everybody then on March 31st. If you got questions or whatever, just, you're up in the air on something membership wise, message one of us that you see in the stream, throw it in the Facebook group, whatever you got to do. Get a hold of us. You guys have any final words?
It's going to be a great season. I can't wait.
It is.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to this, Civil War event. Down at Cayuga. I think that's a really interesting idea. And depending on how well this goes, it's like they've been talked about. We'll be going to Pennsylvania next year,
Mm-hmm.
and that's going to be a huge opportunity for all of us to get out of our comfort areas.
Exactly. Yeah, I personally
Because
haven't fished any event yet, even
Yeah.
out in New York. And this year I will, but
I'm pretty sure the majority of us haven't hit
yeah.
much in the way of Pennsylvania water, so
Yeah.
that should be really cool.
Yep. So, all right, man. Well, appreciate you guys jumping on. Appreciate Jake for jumping on. Frankie, appreciate all the work you've done for us, man. All the national sponsors, Wicked Weights, and everybody for hooking us up. We're gonna have a great season. Lots of good raffles going on. Great payouts coming this year. I'll post some more of the payouts coming up. I was gonna bring them up on the screen, but I'll just post screenshots later. So, all right, man. Everybody take care. Have a good night, and be safe on the hard water until we're back out in our kayaks.
Take it easy,
Okay,
guys.
guys.
Have a good night, everybody.